There we go. Mm.
Okay, welcome to the um, February 10th, 2025, 26. Uh, my name is Dave, KV0S, and this week um, I've been doing a few things. I did a little um, program to convert um, the configure. I have a set of Missouri configure files and I wanted them in the new directory format. So I wrote a little script that converts direct config files into directory format config files. And I ran through and it worked mostly. Um,
Mm.
the only thing was the um, FF or the wisdom file needed to be in a different place. So now I know of three places to put the wisdom file. And I was going to ask Phil to clarify which is the preferred one nowadays. So that was it for me. Next on the list is Nathaniel, W2 and a half. Go ahead.
Thanks, Dave. I guess the biggest thing for this group is I've been meeting with the HamSCI workshop committee, and we've been trying to get the agenda put together. And the good news is we had lots of submissions of abstracts this year. The bad news is that we've had lots of submissions of abstracts this year. So trying to figure out what becomes a poster and what becomes a talk. There's a lot more pressure on oral presentation time. It's also different this year in that we're having it on a Saturday and a Sunday, and we also have this field trip to ARRL headquarters Saturday afternoon. So we're going to be doing things a little bit differently than we have in the past. We're going to have some shorter oral presentations on the morning on Saturday, and then we're going to head over to the ARRL headquarters for tours and things at 2 in the afternoon. And then Sunday morning, we're going to have a poster session on Sunday morning. It's going to be a fairly large poster session, probably about 30 posters or so. And that poster session is going to go Sunday morning all up until like 12:30 p.m. So really most of Sunday morning, and that way, if people want to go to church or slip out for a little bit before the poster session or at the beginning of it, they can. And then, we'll have some orals in the afternoon. So we should be getting the agenda posted by the end of the week. Um, and I guess if you have gotten, I think most of the people here actually do have a talk. I think, Jonathan, one thing for you is we're keeping the memorial talk at 30 minutes, but then we're turning the VLF presentation into a like the actual like one about the Daisy thing. That's going to go into a poster, but you'll still have the 30-minute memorial talk that you'll be able to do. I think then everyone else, I think Paul Elliott and Michael Howen, we have you scheduled for 15-minute talks each. And I think, and Dave, I think we're going to have you do the poster slash demonstration with Jackson. So I think that's kind of all of the,
Wh- Me, Dave?
yeah, you Dave.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
which the poster slash oh, with
Demon
Jackson. With Jackson. Okay.
with Jackson. Yes.
I misunderstood the last bit. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe we can talk about that a little bit more during the open session. So,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So that is a lot of the news that's going on here. Back to net.
Okay, next on the list is Dave, KD0EAG. Go ahead.
Oh, I've been doing a variety of things. Let's see. I was just trying to open up a VPN to the old Linode server. Um, without success here, something I'm doing wrong. The I've been doing a lot of something, um, well, a good bit of work um, on the magnetometer software. and general architecture of that, and trying to think of other things. I don't know. I can't remember. It's all the same. Um, but but I'm staying busy and out of trouble mostly. So that's it for me.
Okay. Next on the list, we have Clint, K7 OEI. Go ahead. Clint, you're muted.
There we go. My camera is working just a moment ago.
I know. There you are.
Yeah, I'm still recovering from having been traveling for a couple weeks. I was mostly in Arizona, courtside and things like that. Saw some fun stuff on Kids Peak. Um, anyway, but slowly getting back in the swing of things. Lots of little ham radio projects, but nothing specific to this, although I have kind of been getting in the looking into Paul's. See, he responded and smiled. His version of the 888. Kind of been watching the comments and kind of been squinting at the diagrams as I can find them. He'll talk more about it, I guess, but it should be interesting to see how that turns out. Back to you.
Okay. Next on the list is Dave H, W6OQ. Go ahead, David.
Good evening, everyone. So, as a change from usual, this week I'm looking at Paul's schematics and stuff for the new 888 thing. So, not just learning something, helping now. Okay,
Very,
thanks.
very good. Next on the list is David McGaw in one HAC. Go ahead, David.
Good evening, all. Working on our ground station, and if you hear a squelch in the background, that's our CubeSat going over. It's beaconing every 15 seconds. And I've got reservations made for the workshop and for the for a hamvention as well. So looking forward to a couple of good events. And yeah, and I'm only 3 hours away from the workshop, so I've made my reservations just through Sunday. But yeah, it's like a good problem to have all these different talks that want to be done. We'll see how we
Yeah.
can squeeze it all in for the workshop. So back to net.
Okay. Next on the list is Jonathan, KC3EEY. Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. Unfortunately, this week a bunch of non-VLF related tasks occupied my time. But I am still working on the end panel design for the VLF interface box and the VLF preamp that I have on test at Nathaniel's. It still sounds like that the ground is not connected. It 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 doesn't necessarily sound like there's a lot of high frequency power line harmonics, but it sounds that there's the lower frequency stuff, which is kind of indicative of a ground not being connected. The common mode noise doesn't have anywhere to go. So so the plan is to head down Nathaniel's end of this week and do some investigation just to make sure. Just to make sure that it's connected, that everything is connected the way that it should be, because I did not expect it to sound like this. However, it's been working. It seems to be working quite well otherwise. it's been really good. It's been really good with um, the military VLF transmitters, um, and there's um, and it's even picking up signals that are coming in and out. There's a bunch of what is it, five narrow individual carriers. Uh, Looks like almost like a grid pattern in Spectrum Lab. Um, so it definitely seems to be working the way that it should. I am picking up WWVB. Uh, Also, so I'm pretty happy with it, but I'm still not kind of thrilled with how it sounds. So I want to do some more investigation to make sure that that the ground is connected and there's not any other issues. That's all I have. Back to the net.
Okay. Next on the list is Michael Howen, AC0G. Go ahead.
Hello, everybody. I've not been terribly active, but I have been continuing to work on some software. I did meet with Mike Lombardi and Christina and Sarah Over and Anna Montaro this past week. We'll meet again in another week or so to try and refine some approaches that will, I hope, get the most bang for the buck out of some of the techniques I'm trying to employ. The yawning chasms of my ignorance that underlie the thin little threads of things I think I know just keep coming into focus all the time. So it's a challenge to overcome. But the beauty of it, for me at any rate, is that I'm learning a lot. Hopefully it'll turn into something that's practical. Looking forward to seeing everybody in March. Back to net.
Very good. Next on the list is Paul, WB6 CXC. Go ahead, Paul. Mike. Oh, keep talking.
Okay, I was trying
You
to
go.
gesture, move on without me. I couldn't find my screen, but here I am. Hi, everybody. Um, yeah, this week spent, sort of pulling stuff together for the review of this new 888. And I don't know if you guys have been following it. And Phil Karn, I want to ask you if you would like to participate in any of the review. I have not included you yet, but if anybody here wants to, just drop me a note and I'll add you to the
Yeah, definitely.
email list.
Definitely.
Okay, I got you on the list then. Um, yeah, I've been having some cordial discussions with Glenn about clocking, and I really need to put together the document that describes kind of the goals for this project and um, the various competing requirements that I'm trying to balance. So, and hopefully that will clarify some of the decisions that have been made. And but as always, I'm looking for any usable. Anybody has sees a problem with what I'm doing. I really want to know now. Um, Other than that, I'd mentioned the thing I was doing at the STEM Center. Got that little Fox Hunter thing going, Fox Hunt transmitter controller, and had the kids build a couple of them. I had a circuit board made, so but using through-hole parts, so they soldered them down and programmed the little controller, and it was working. So that was fun. Um, Other stuff. The time sync just started to work on that a little bit. I did make some measurements. You recall a couple weeks ago, we're looking at frequency accuracy of the Bodnar, the mini GPS, and discovered that there was a you know some microhertz or nanohertz error in the way the the firmware delivered firmware on that was operating it, which was not news to Bodnar, but it was news to some of us, me certainly. Um, so I had, found that the new firmware, they sent me different firmware and that fixed that. And it's, better than I can measure now. Um, so I finally went and did the same measurements with the newer dual Bodnar output, the dual output Bodnar, like the one we sent to WWV. And as Bodnar was claiming, it appears as if that one is dead nuts on accurate as far as output frequency. I'm measuring it at 10 megahertz. I haven't tried measuring it at 27, but I saw the same issues with those two frequencies on the previous version. So I expect if it's good on 10, it's still good on 27. Now, this frequency inaccuracy has no measurable effect on anything anybody's doing except for possibly some of the time sync work. And I'm kind of pushing to have that firmware, that software modified a little bit to even compensate for that frequency error, because it's really just over a several day type of problem. Anyway, and I'm going to be on the road tomorrow and Wednesday, driving south from Friday Harbor down to Occidental. So I'll check in back with you guys. Well, this one, it'll be next Monday. So anyway, that's it for me. Back to Net.
Okay. Next on the list is Phil Karn, K9Q. Go ahead, Phil.
Hey guys, first of all, I answered your question about the wisdom file. The one I currently use is in
Okay.
Verilib KNIQ radio wisdom, and it's
Yes.
automatically created by the FFT Gen program,
Okay.
which I've told you about. We
Yes.
probably actually make that totally automatic, but I hesitate to run things while radio is running because it might upset skew
Right.
the results.
Right. Well, that's
Let's
what
see.
I came to the conclusion, but I wanted to check before I
Yeah.
made
Yeah, I
any
did
other
that when I
changes.
installed a new version of FFT and realized I had to generate my wisdom all over again. I figured, okay, I'm not doing this manually again. I'm going to
Yes.
write some tools to do it. So that's how it works now.
Okay.
What's the other things I've been doing? Working with Wayne WA2N in better integration of KNIQ Web with KNIQ Radio. We got it working out. You can now select window types and shape parameters, stuff like that from the KNIQ Web interface. Let's see. Oh yeah, I've gotten the. I'm working also on performance tuning. Originally I was sending out every frequency bin as a 32-bit float, which is absurdly large. Now it's an 8-bit byte, and I'm actually working on compressing that and getting quite a bit of compression out of rice coding. So anyway, mostly it's just tuning and bug fixes and little stuff like that. Back to you guys.
Okay. Next on the list is Scott Newell, N5TNL. Go ahead, Scott.
Hey, nothing to report. Just been busy at work, and hopefully that's coming to a close. So, listening in.
Okay. Hopefully that's just busy at work, not
Yeah,
working.
the deadline is passed, and the job is slowing
Okay.
down. So,
Yes.
I
Thank you.
think it's going to get back to normal instead of these 70-hour weeks.
Okay. Next on the list is Tom in 5EG. Go ahead, Tom.
Oh, good evening, Dave, everyone in the group. It turned out the VHDL code I was going to try and use with the project doesn't work on the current Xilinx tools. And the way to fix it is to rewrite the VHDL. And so maybe not so practical. So I'm going to change out the A to D converters on the project. I've got a new layout and new parts anyway, so it's a good time to do that. So it's kind of time to get started on a restart of the project. Back to the group.
Very good. I hope you have some gumption to keep plugging away at this. It's nice to
Well, this
hear your
project seems to-
ideas.
I need better better boots because this project is snake bit.
Oh, well, I'll tell Paul to wave at you as he drives by tomorrow.
Okay. As long as there's nothing contagious here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think I've called on everybody. Somebody not been called on?
Jake
Okay.
added. Was Jake in?
Oh, Jay Schwartz just added. Go ahead, Jay.
Howdy, I joined late. Thanks for picking me up. I joined very late, so nothing new
Okay.
here. Uh, I have my hotel reservations for uh, the HamSCI conference, and now I just got to send in my reservation for the registration, I mean, for the event, and I'll get on to that in a few minutes here. Otherwise, 73. Hope everybody is stay warm, stay safe. See you later on down the log.
Okay. Well, Nathaniel, it's open for general discussion.
All right, that's wonderful. I think the most important thing I want to talk about right now is just with Dave. So I saw Hyomin canceled tomorrow morning's meeting. I think it'd be great if you met with Jackson. Do you need if I don't need to be there, I could really use that time to work on course preps and things like that. Are you good just meeting with Jackson?
Yes, I am. If can we use your Zoom link or what you
Yeah. Do you want to just use this Zoom link?
the which link?
The Zoom link we're on right now?
Yeah, yeah. If would that work or
Yeah, it should work. It should work just fine.
okay.
So
Well, we'll have to let him know.
yeah, I can send him an I'll send answer to the whole group and let him know. I'll
Yeah,
just say, yeah, just join on this link.
yeah. I'd like to. Yeah, I would like to talk to him. There's one or two questions that I would like to ask you just to be clear on what you could probably see from my, what I sent to him that, am I on the right track about where we ought to be headed? Um, I'm trying to gently encourage you. I know he's probably busy with lots of classwork and stuff, but I do want to um, uh, kind of keep some momentum going and heard this towards a result that can get people we can explain to people at the workshop and let them think about if they have any ideas that they would like to see out of this, plant the seeds to the
Yeah.
extent that's possible. And is that how fancy should we be by then?
By the HamSci workshop?
Yeah.
Well, I think I mean as fancy as you can be.
Oh,
Um, you know, but I know that's a dangerous thing. I think it's reasonable, see work together to set a reasonable goal.
okay.
So certainly if you can have a minimum viable product that has a reasonably clean interface and shows some real-time plotting, I think that's really nice.
Uh-huh.
We that's one of the things we we did go through we developed that project plan with Claude,
Right.
the requirements document and the project plan with Claude. And I don't know, have everyone on here seen what we're talking about, this project plan and requirements document? I don't know that I've shown that to this
Really,
group.
really
Yeah.
nicely done.
it is really nicely done, and it might be worth taking a few minutes to show people how what's going on here. Um, so to kind of explain it a little bit more, uh, Dave Witten, I have a computer science student who came to me last semester saying he was looking for a project, and he heard I have lots of projects to give out, and I said, and I said, okay, that's great. I said, since you're a computer science student, maybe you can work with Dave Witten to develop a real time web based dashboard for the ground magnetometer project. And that's where we went with this. And then he said, you know, in the past, what I've done is when we've had projects like this, we'd have the student kind of sketch out what the requirements would be or map out the project. But since I had access to Claude and since we've had, since Dave already worked up a straw man um, dashboard, and since there's been already been quite a bit written about the magnetometer project, both on the website and in the Frontiers article, I decided to put all this together and give it to Claude and have Claude come up with a formal requirements document for the project. And then after we went through the requirements document, then I asked Claude to, we refined it. So humans, Dave Witten, myself, the student, Bob Spletta, we read through the requirements document, made edits to it. Then we went back to Claude and said, okay, can you create a project plan for this student? And so we have all of this up on GitHub now. So if you go to github.com/HamSCI, and if you look under repositories, and we have this GMAG web UI, ground magnetometer web user interface. Right now we have it looks pretty empty, but hopefully it'll get filled out. But we have this repository here, and here's the requirements document. And I can put this in the chat so anyone is free to take a look at this. And so it goes through, explains what the purpose of the system is, gives a background, provides key references, including the Frontiers paper, a link to Dave Witten's Mag USB repository and his Mag Dash Strawman dashboard implementation, defines the scope. It gives a sketch of the architecture, explains the data format, talks about the field definitions, and then down here are the requirements. And we have things that it shall, priority, and must, things it must do, things it should do, and things it may do, optional requirements. And so then it breaks the requirements down into categories: data ingestion, real-time visualization. Every requirement has an ID and a priority. And it did a pretty nice job, kind of explaining what we want done. And then after we did that, recommended workflow. This is where it came up with a recommended workflow. So it has a minimum viable product prototype that's supposed to be a working demo for the HamSCI workshop. And so this is what, I think what we're hoping to have for the HamSCI workshop, this phase 1 right here. So I guess if you're wondering where you should be, this is a good guideline. And if you are not on track with this, or if you think this is not going to work for some reason, then we can revisit it. But this is the current guideline.
So we're really talking about and I just want to verify, a live demo.
Yeah.
But do we need a poster also or something like that?
I think a poster would be really nice
Uh-huh.
because the poster you can put some nice pictures on it, you can put a few words. And so I imagine you having a poster behind you and then during the demonstration session you actually set up the hardware and do the demonstration.
Okay.
And the posters, we're going to set the posters up first thing Saturday morning at the HamSCI workshop. So the posters are going to stay up for the entire 2 days.
Okay.
And that way, on coffee breaks and things like that, if you want to have something to talk to people about, you can go up to posters or you can show people your poster. And then
Sure.
the demonstration might only be like Sunday morning.
Okay. Do I have a poster template somewhere that I can uh, use? I haven't done a lot of posters in my.
Yes, we do have a poster template, and I can. So,
I know I've contributed to some, but never.
and and you can work with Jackson to decide, who wants to take responsibility for doing what. But
Right.
here are the I can send a OneDrive share link with this,
That'd be great. I don't,
and
you know, I don't want to take too much of a, to get too out front of Jackson
yeah,
on it too far. But I also want to see that we have something uh,
yeah.
worth
Well,
looking.
it seems like Jackson's pretty proactive too. And like, I mean, he came into my office today. Because he's trying to get remote access to the system. So he asked me about that. He's been asking me about, HamSci workshop travel arrangements and things like that. So, I think you'll work well with him. And
Okay,
so this is the poster template, and you can adjust the boxes as you see fit, and you can kind of you know adjust it as you need to. But yeah, so what I can do is I can
that'd be a big help to me.
oh yeah, I can share this, and then I can say um anyone can view, copy, and then what I can do is I can, let's see here.
If
Uh
put the link in the chat, meeting chat.
sure.
Even okay,
Well,
yeah,
here I'm going to email. I want to
email
eat.
would be best. These
Yeah.
I can't. I find it very hard to get stuff out of the chat in time or to
Yeah.
save the chat. So I figured out how to do it the other day, but it was convoluted.
Yeah. So what I think I'll do is I will say,
By the way, Dave, if you go up to the upper right corner with the three dots and click on that, you can save chat
Oh, probably in chat.
in
Yeah,
chat.
I saw that, but it doesn't give you any very clear. The naming was really weird. I will
so I'll say,
where it goes to. It doesn't really tell me.
yeah. Hi,
You can have it
Goman,
open the folder automatically.
Jackson, and all. Um, let's see. Uh, I think it would be great if Dave W meets with Jackson tomorrow morning to at 10:30 a.m. Eastern to talk about their project and the HamSci workshop. I touched base with Dave W during the Tapper telecon tonight. You, Dave, and Jackson meet at this Zoom link. Uh, Here is the poster template for the HamSCI workshop.
Sounds great.
And then I'm just gonna say I will not be on the call as I will be doing course preps, etc. But Dave W knows what is happening. 73DE Nathaniel. Good?
Yep. Dandy.
Great.
But Nathaniel, can you put that? I wouldn't mind seeing that poster template, having it.
Yeah, so I have a couple different versions of the poster. I specifically have two different versions of the poster template. I have one poster template which I will share with the group here. Share. I'll put this in the chat. Share with anyone. Copy link. Paste. There you go. So there's the poster template in the chat. But I think we have you, Paul. I think we have you down for an oral presentation. So
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to that. I understood that there may be poster for the 888 in addition
right.
to the presentation. Anyway, I've never
Yeah.
actually done a poster session myself. So I just, I'd like to see some
Yeah.
examples of how it's done.
Yeah.
And
I
I've
like.
got it here now. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. So this is the poster version I have for the general HamSci community. So it's all blue. I see I have another version here that I have for University of Scranton students and people that has purple on it. So that's the main difference between the two.
Okay.
But yeah, since Jackson's
I can, since I'm almost colorblind,
it's a but that's the main difference. But yeah, it's nice. What you can do is you can just go into PowerPoint. You can adjust it, put in whatever you want, adjust the boxes,
yeah.
and then yeah, you make sure you put your email down here, and yeah, and then you'll be able to send it to NJIT electronically, and they'll be able to print it out for you and bring it to the workshop. So they'll even take care of the printing and everything.
Great. Well, I got a little bit of time to figure all
Yeah,
that out, but it's I appreciate the templates here.
absolutely. So yeah, okay. I think that's pretty much that. So back to net.
Oh, we're done with the network call.
Well, the
Yes.
floor is open for general
Yes.
discussion. So we're
Paul,
done. We are done talking about magnetometer things. So
did you want to talk about your X888
Well,
efforts?
and Dave, would you like to be in? I'm sorry, I just kind of grabbed the few people that had said they wanted to participate in the review. I'm happy to add you to that. It's just basically a email back and forth with a bunch of us.
I would be
Um,
happy. Which Dave?
well, any Dave, but I was
Yeah.
thinking of
Yes.
Dave Larson.
Yes, I would be happy to.
And I'd like to be in the loop too, Paul.
Okay, who? Okay,
Dave,
Dave,
Dave
HAC.
McGaw. Okay,
Yep.
yeah.
let me write.
Now, Paul, I want you to make sure that you make the statement that this is like the lowest common denominator and not all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, and that I've promised I'm going to put together sort of what's the word? Anyway, a document that describes the rationale for this thing. And some people anyway, different people want different things, and I'm trying to make it flexible enough, but a lot of stuff's not going to make it into the design, and really the goal. Anyway, I'm going to write a document that describes kind of the motivation, my intentions, and maybe reasons for some of the non-obvious decisions I made and areas of concern. So I'm going to put that out. I've already posted the schematic um, and the KiCad files. I've done the schematic as a PDF, but also it's embedded in all the KiCad files. And I've got a GitHub where I put that, and anybody with the well, I'll make sure that all members of the email
Yeah.
chain get a copy of where that link is.
Well, I should state that at one point Nathaniel and I got together and we needed to make some sort of a radio device that would work with K9Q radio and accomplish some of Nathaniel's grant goals when the availability of the RX 888s that we've been using was limited. And that was the first objective. And then, so it was not supposed to be everything to everybody, but it's supposed to be a start on a radio that we have some control over the manufacturer and distribution of it.
Yeah, no, the goal, as I understand it, is, basic functionality, doing what at least the HF portion of what the 888, RX 888 does. Not trying to make it any fancier than that. I'm doing it in a slightly larger form factor using slightly larger components, 603s instead of 402s, for example, the surface mount parts, to make it easy for future iterations. So we can, first thing is just to get it working, make sure we have a radio.
Yeah, well, you want to
And
be able to be sure you can hack it.
well, define hack. I don't want to put tons of everything on it
Well,
because
what I mean is to be able to make changes on it. If maybe want to modify it, but also to be able to fix it, because there will
that's
be presumably errors.
Yes, that's
yeah.
the
Well,
idea.
Yeah, so
that's why
603
we
is
own.
a
That's why
minimum
we.
size. I like 805s myself, but
Yeah, it wouldn't. You'd have a hard time on the board with this. 603s are easy enough. I mean, they're easy enough for
I
me,
mean,
and
yeah, I can handle them, but
yeah. So, and anyway,
that
but
was one of the
look,
big
probably the most important thing is that we are going to own, you know, Tapper and HamSCI are going to own the design files, and so at that point, and own the process for, be comfortable with the process for making more of these, for making changes. We need to get something working. We need to um, verify that it works and quantify how well it works and where the problems are. And, probably go through a few iterations before we have something that, is good enough for general use.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be bells and whistles and enhancements that people are going to want.
right.
And if we can't support them on the board the way it is, that we own the design and we can,
Right.
add stuff to it.
But well, two things. One, well, I want to be able to put wires on it, and when you make things too small, you can't get wires on it. The other thing is test points. I don't know if you have any thought to adding some test points so we can actually trace signals through it. You muted, Paul.
Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, the phone is ringing. Yeah, no, I've got some test points in the signal paths, test points
Good.
in the power domains, and lots of ground points on the board.
Yeah, good. That's Often one thing that gets neglected. Oh, where do I
I
put
mean,
my
if
ground clip?
yeah, no, I've got places where you can solder a pin, just
Great.
and clip your ground lead on that if you want. Um, so that's kind of the goal. You'll be able to solder wires onto it, by unsoldering a 603 component and using wire wrap wire. I mean, I do that if I screw up on a board.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So it's
But
anyway,
we've had
that's
boards that it's been very difficult to do that.
yeah, and not all some places will be easier than others on the board to access with a soldering iron, but um, this is an RF design, can't spread things out too far. So anyway, we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to write up a document that describes, I believe, the goals as I understand them, and any design details I think would be useful, and hopefully that will make a design review constructive. Again, I don't want to add a lot of stuff to it. I want to keep it as pretty much as simple as possible. That still gets us basically what we need. Um, so that's where I stand with it. The design is, you know, probably just about done. There are a couple things after I was talking with Glenn about it that, minor tweaks I want to do. I'm not going to give Glenn everything he wants for sure, but there are a couple places where I can probably improve the signal integrity balance on some things. But I'm going to give him and everyone else a chance to, tear it apart and let me know what they think.
Well, and the other rationale is initially Nathaniel is our customer and he has a grant to accomplish some goals. And
Mm-hmm.
he's desperate to have enough radios to do that.
Yeah. So basically, my initial request is to have something that is a RX 888 replacement that would that we eventually that just has a basic functionality at first, and then, like you said, as we decide that we need more things, we have a platform or design we can build on.
Yeah,
Right.
probably the most important thing to come out of this will be, again, a design that we own, that we can make changes to, that we understand. I mean, I'm telling you, kind of reverse engineering the 888. It's been a bit of a challenge. There's so many versions of the schematic out there, and no schematic that matches the actual 888 we've been using. So trying
Yeah.
to interpolate or extrapolate. Fortunately, we have the firmware, and uh, with a lot of help, I've been able to use that to verify, which pins go where as far as the USB interface chip. I think I got that right now.
Yeah.
But there's still a bit of mystery to the board. I working with the spec sheets on all the basic parts on there, and with that and the what existing documentation there was on the board, I think I'm pretty close to it being right, and maybe after review it will be right. But we're close to finding out. One issue is some really the only component on there that is difficult is the analog digital converter. Sourcing that, we can buy them and we can send them to JLC and they'll put them on there. I don't know how many they have to throw away in order to, there's always you have to buy more than they actually use because they have to load up their pick and place machine, and usually a couple end up on the floor, and that's an expensive part to end up on the floor. Maybe that's the best we can do. Um, I'm afraid that the tariffs, is this expensive part going to be double tariffed? If we do this, we send it to China and then they send it back, soldered onto a board. This may be a reason to explore domestic fabrication now. I've designed it so it can be sent to JLC using the JLC part numbers, but you know, anybody in the world can, can build to this. They might have to locate, um, alternate sources for some of the parts, but with the exception of a couple of the chips, it's all quite generic. So we need to, see what the actual cost is going to be. I did cost it out with assumption that there is no double tariff, just one way tariff on the analog to digital converter. And well, I put that up on my GitHub page. I have to look up the number. I don't recall what it was. It wasn't as bad as I thought, though, but we'll see. So I'm expecting that Tapper is going to help with figuring out how to get this thing actually built.
Okay.
So that's it for me, I think.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think
Believe me, no.
I think Nathaniel's breathing a little better than he was for a while.
No, this is really exciting. I mean, to actually see these schematics come across and to actually hear the possibility of, wow, we may actually build something. And this is very exciting.
Yeah.
This is really, really, really exciting. I know Rob Robinette's very excited about this too, to have our own, our own hardware to run the software on. So this is really good. Very, very, very
Well,
exciting.
I am feeling better about it, having finally made it to this stage. I know we're not as close to the end as I probably think we are, but we're definitely closer than we were a week ago.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Well, I think this is all really good. We're getting close to the top of the hour. I am getting sleepier and still have quizzes to upload to Brightspace and a few more emails to respond to and things like that. So I might say 73 for the evening, but I think this is good.
Me too.
Yep.
All right.
And good night, everybody.
Okay.
Good night. Thanks, Paul.
everybody.
Thanks,
Bye,
Paul.
Michael.
Good night,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.